Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting into? We are getting into Love is Blind season 7. We are now on episode 6 and this will call 6 Things I Hate About You. Anyway, before we get into this episode, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know when I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do the good things that you do, because you know what, my people, I am on the road to 1k and with your help I will get there. Anyway, the couples are still on their honeymoons. They're still apparently getting along, I shall say. You see Garrett and Tyler take a trip to the beach and have a chat. So Garrett basically did say that he would not have talked to Tyler if they bumped into each other out in the societal hemisphere, and says that Tyler basically understands him. And now when Garrett says it, I kind of think he means it, unlike the others. That's all I'm going to say right now. And Tyler did take the words right out of my mouth that women hear a lot of words but they need to see the actions too. So basically she raised when they get back to DC that her and Garrett are going to need to have a talk about what's going to happen next. And this is what I'm talking about. It's important for these people to have these conversations and have an air of who it is that they're going through this experiment with, because they really don't seem to do it and they land on their arse when they don't. So Garrett does agree. It's important in terms of the chats that you need to have, as I said. And marriage is not just based on the love and physical alone. You need all the other aspects to intertwine with it, I should say. So Garrett says that he's ready to change his life for Taylor, but we shall see. We shall see. It's early days. There's still enough time for Garrett to make a massive faux pas, but we shall see. So you see Marissa and Ramsey together and they're taking dance lessons, and they do honestly look good together. Ramsey talks about their great physical connection, but then for them two, I'm like, well, what's next? Because your physical connection will only take you so far. Like, what are their values? What are their morals? What makes them tick? What will make them gel together, you know, once serious conversations have taken place? This remains to be seen for each of the couples, to be fair, because, you know, they're still in the honeymoon period. And I think they need to use this bit of honeymoon period wisely. They too talk about looking forward to meeting up with other couples. And basically Marissa is saying about Ramses that she's hooked and obsessed with him. Let's hope she remains this way, because you never know, something fundamental might come their way that they really can't get over that molehill, but we'll see. So Ashley and Tyler do a cooking class. Ashley basically keeps saying that she loves Tyler. I see her say the words, but it isn't connecting emotionally for me. I think Ashley is holding herself back in some way. It's like she keeps telling him every single day, I love you. It's kind of like when Monica says it to Stephen. Stephen doesn't necessarily reciprocate by giving her those love words or saying I love you, but she will say it each given way, each time. And I'm like, not everybody wants to hear the words all the time. They just want to sit in the fact that, yeah, I know you love me. I just don't need to hear you tell me you love me every single time. But these guys seem to want that anyway. So Tyler talked about how Ashley would have hated him if she had met him before the time was right. When men do say this, it kind of gives me one inside, because I'll be like, well, what the fuck did you get up to that you would think that I would hate you if I'd met you previously? As nothing good comes from it, and to be fair, they never tell the whole truth of it either. So Ashley's so sure about Tyler that she said if her mom tries to say anything against him, she will tell her mom to shut up and sit down. And if she doesn't, she will tell her people that they can't come to the wedding. I thought, that's mad. That is mad. That is mad. Because you sometimes in this scenario, you do need your family on board. You do need their honest and open opinion about the guy you say that you want to spend the rest of your life with. If he's showing signs that he's definitely not a good match for you, you would want your family to be honest with you. So if you don't agree with what they're saying and you're telling them they're not, yeah, nah. Ashley's lost. Like, she's lost right now. I don't understand what it is about some women who literally have this need for a man that they're literally not going to listen to no warning signs, because Monica is one of those people too. Like, seriously. So Alex and Tim go sun hat shopping. Them two just like to be contrary. They just like to be the opposite of each other on purpose, but more so Tim does it, to be honest with you. Alex didn't like the hat that Tim picked out. Tim actually looked like a fall in the hat anyway, so I'm gonna have to say yes. I agree with Alex on that one, that it didn't suit him. They just battle all the time, and for me it's just boring. I know you need to have banter, but they always be bantering each other all the time. It's like each one of them has to have the last word. Tim talks about, like, you know, how he's kind of messy at home because he kind of leaves food and stuff out, and Alex says it's gross, which it is. It is gross because it can attract all types of insects, all types of mice, you know what I mean, vermin, all that thing. So Tim basically was talking about how he already had his corners in his house and she will have to stick to hers and not cross into his. He says it as a joke, but half of the stuff this man says, or each of them say as a joke, they mean it. They honestly do mean it, and you can see it. So you see Monica and Stephen. So Monica and Stephen were having acupuncture. So Stephen was first, and they put a needle in the top of his head. So Monica was basically saying that the needle in the top of his head reminds her of his boner. And I thought, what the hell does that mean? What are you trying to say? Are you talking about girth, size? Because wow. So Monica is basically hella sexual in a talk that she has with Stephen as they're getting their acupuncture punched in, which isn't a bad thing per se. But I don't think that they would connect past the physical if it does happen for them. As I've already said, I really don't see them together for the long haul. I really don't. So apparently Stephen gets a lot of bonus. A stiff wing can make him hard. What does that say about him? Maybe he has an issue there. So basically Monica wants validation from Stephen. So he says he felt better around her in her truest form, like with no makeup and her black girl headband. Unless it has the words black girl written on it, I don't think there's any such thing as a black girl headband, to be honest with you. I mean, it's great, he likes her in her natural state, but when it comes to what Monica is asking for, he didn't technically answer that to me. So all the couples meet up. Hannah has basically said her and Nick are not giving couple at all, and that's, I think, in their dress sense, because Nick is dressed in what he normally dresses in a white t-shirt and a dark jeans or something like that, like Harry was in the pods. Neither one of them match, because Hannah was like in a black dungaree dress with a freaking purple bikini top underneath it. I was like, you're going to like have a night out with the rest of the couples and that what you both chose to wear, okay. All the others couples matched, like look gorgeous, the women look gorgeous as well. So Monica is already calling out Nick for not looking as she imagined him to be. She says that he's cute, he's better, and I'm just like, he's better looking than your man. Let's just put it that way, my love. So in come Alex and Tim, then comes Marissa and Ramses. I'm telling you, in the way that these girls are acting with Nick right now, they're going to be talking about Nick and his height and all the ways that he don't meet up with this, that and over, I'm telling you. So, I mean, to be honest with you, the man shouldn't have basically called himself the slightly less buff version of Henry Cavill, because, yeah, it was like Megan Fox gay all over again with that. So in comes Ashley and Tyler. Then you got Tyler and Garrett. Stephen believes that Garrett looks like a middle-class Chris Evans. No one sees it at all. I think a little bit, but not by much, to be honest with you. So Nick and Hannah be asking Ramses and Marissa in their separate groups about sex. Everybody, except for Tyler and Garrett, I think, seems to be getting it all hot and juicy at the end of the day. That's all you need to know. So there's going to be couples who will be living vicariously through others because they aren't where they are meant to be at this moment in time. So Hannah and Nick were talking together about everybody having sex. It doesn't seem that they have, but they need not judge everybody's relationship against their own, because everybody moves differently. I don't know why Nick kept saying to Hannah, we haven't had sex, right? And she says no. But I don't think both of them are above lying to others to say that they have had it, to feel like they're an inclusive part of the group. And again, that's where their immaturity comes in at the end of the day, because they don't think that they can be honest to say, well, we haven't got to that stage yet, but we're not necessarily worried about it because of X, Y, and Z, and have an adult conversation. Their first thought is to actually lie about it because they know that the other couples have, which is stupid and dumb and all at the same time. But hey ho, that's Hannah and Nick for you. So Taylor asked Hannah what surprised her most about Nick. Hannah said he loves me. I was with Taylor. That couldn't have been the biggest surprise, my love. I mean, it must have been how he didn't match how you thought he should be in your mind's eye at the end of the day, and the fact that he was smaller than you. So they keep asking Hannah what it's been like with Nick, and I'm just like, well, what is this? Like, seriously? And I knew as soon as everybody walked in and started to meet Nick D, or Slick Nick as they call him, they were going to have questions with some answers, filling in the gaps, because Nick did not meet the expectations of a man that they were looking at. To be honest with you, they really didn't. But Nick ain't such a bad person, I say right now. That could change throughout me watching these episodes, but right now I'm saying that. So Marissa speaks to Hannah, and basically Hannah tells Marissa that it hasn't been awkward between her and Nick, and she does feel comfortable with him. And at that point I would have left it at that, but no. She continues to say that Nick actually is the one that doesn't want to talk about sex with producers or be open about it. But then she confirms to Marissa that they've had sex, even though they haven't. So yeah, this is what I mean about them not above lying to fit in with the crowd. So Hannah then talks about the freaking ducks, in terms of Nick riding the ducks with the other woman. And I'm like, he was having fun, Larry, at the end of the day. But Hannah began embellishing on the story that the woman says, looking at Hannah, oh, your girl is a jealous little bitch. And I was like, Hannah, no. Don't embellish like that. Because you know the woman didn't say that to you at all. The woman was not disrespectful at all. She just turned around playfully and said, oh no, don't you be getting jealous now. That's all she said, playfully, jokingly. And that's what Hannah took from that. That the woman called her a jealous little bitch. Yeah, Hannah's not above embellishing, me tell you. So it was totally uncalled for from Hannah to get upset in the fact that from that now she's trying to justify her reasoning as to why she was upset with Nick, literally not even standing up for her against that woman, when that woman did absolutely nothing wrong, to be honest with you. My thing is when someone keeps on saying that they're not a jealous person, best believe that they are, because this is what Hannah is doing. She was saying, I'm not a jealous person, but I'm not a jealous person, but. And I'm thinking that whole duck riding was not even that deep. It's the fact that Nick brought another woman into the equation and was quite flirty and banterful with her, that the jealousy side was shown of Hannah. Don't be ashamed of it. She got jealous. She needs to accept that. Anyway, so Hannah continues to say that she wears the pants in the relationship. She keeps on going on about how Nick is so in love with her, but doesn't really say that she's so in love with Nick, which in of itself is quite strange to me. So you see the lads talking, and Ramsey's basically saying that he doesn't feel overwhelmed by Marissa's energy, and Marissa is bragging to the girls about Ramsey's and his bedroom habits, and Tyler is basically like, you know, the boss, I'm getting married. I'm telling you, I don't like Tyler at all. There's something, he's just always with the noise. I'm getting married, the prayers at night time, the talking of this and that, and I'm like, he's just too well versed in what he's saying for me to believe him. At the end of the day, he doesn't keep quiet. So he basically tells the guys how Ashley saying I love you to him is the best feeling, and Garrett agrees with him too. So Alex is talking to Taylor, and she's questioning if they are all going to be getting married. And she says, we might all be getting married. I bet none of them say yes at the altar though, to be honest with you. I just don't see any of these people in this show saying yes to each other at the altar. Like, seriously, there's just too much going on with them. So Tyler has basically confirmed that she and Garrett have not had sex yet, because Tyler is basically taking it slow. And I think that's a good thing at the end of the day. And then we have Monica waxing poetic about Stephen. I really don't know what she finds so... what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? I really don't know what she finds so alluring about Stephen, because I'm trying to find it. After all these episodes, I'm still trying to find it, and I can't see it at the end of the day. So she ends up talking about the nightmares that she's had in her past relationships, and she basically says that it's been really, really great with Stephen. And I think Monica wants to work it out so badly that she will accept and ignore the warning signs at the end of the day. I believe that she has put Stephen on a pedestal, in which the word she says that he is better than her. And I think that's a really big faux pas in my books, because no man should make you feel that you are beneath them, because that's essentially what she's describing when she believes that Stephen is better than her. So you see Tim talking to Stephen. Tim, to me, makes no sense. Because basically he doesn't want to over-explain things to Alex that Alex supposedly already knows. And I'm just like, what is that though? Stephen basically says that he's in the same boat. And he talked about how he had a 15-minute talk on a question that Monica asked. And I'm like, because these men feel the need to use a lot of words to distract from what it is that they're really saying. I mean, Stephen just don't stop talking. Like, just really don't. I just don't understand how he gets to the point that he makes, and he couldn't just take a straight line to get to that point. He goes every which way but. Anyway, so Ashley's saying that she could get married to Tyler today, basically. I don't get how they can move that fast with no caution at all. Like, to be honest, these women and these men really don't know each other bar what they found out from the pods. The test will come when the real world enters in and they have access to their social media, their phones and other people. Then you'll get an idea of who this freaking person is in our real life. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's going to come as a shock to some of these people. So Ashley basically gambles that Tyler won't do anything to fuck shit up. I don't get how you get that assured of someone, because nobody in this world is perfect. So how in the hell, after meeting them for a couple of weeks without seeing them, then to get engaged with them, spending short amount of time really on a honeymoon with them, makes you believe that this person ain't gonna fuck shit up? That's you bloody well putting them a little bit on a pedestal. And when you put someone on a pedestal, you're gonna fall at a freaking great height, let's put it that way. So now Ashley comes up with talking about this 10% black shit that Stephen brought up, and that his family are from the Congo. I'm just like, which part, my love? Which part? And who is tribal people's them? His father is a Republican. Do you really think Stephen's father is going to accept any part of himself that may be black? It's like the one drop rule coming to freaking life. What constitutes as being black as it ain't by percentage? I'm just like, gee whiz, this chat is annoying me. Like, it's fully annoying me, and I wish people would leave it alone. Like, seriously, leave it alone, because I'm sorry, someone putting a percentage on how much you are black annoys the fuck out of me. Stop doing it. Like, seriously, stop it. And Monica shares it to the group, like to the lads, as a joke, that, you know, Stephen loved the fact that he was 1/5 black. And I was like, I swear to God, my brain is about to explode. So it moves to Nick talking to the lads about the duck racing they had with the other woman. And Nick basically described the woman and said that she was like 60, but she was bad. As in, you know, she looked hella good for her age. So then he talks about the fact that he went back to the hotel room, and on the table was a piece of paper that Hannah written on, and she'd wrote down a list of 10 things, yeah, that she didn't necessarily like about him, and left it on the table. Of course, Nick thinks that she left it there accidentally, but I don't think she did. I think she meant for Nick to read that. At the end of the day, she left it there for Nick to find. I'm telling you, Hannah is not into Nick at all. I don't know why Nick is telling the lads about what he saw and not confronting Hannah about it first. I think it's probably in terms of he wants to get the lads' take on it first before he goes and confronts her. But my first take would be I'm picking it up and saying, what the fuck is this at the end of the day? So it was listed like things mature with a question mark, self-confidence versus cocky. So she sees things in Nick that's lacking in him, and it hurt him basically. So the lad says that it must be something that's been on her mind for some time. I think it's something that's been on her mind since she met him, to be honest with you. Since the doors folded back, Hannah ain't been the same at the end of the day. So Taylor talks sense to Monica about the men actually saying a lot to them, but do they show it? Do they show the action? Do they meet what it is that they say? For Monica, it would be a hell no. She just gets sucked into Stephen's chat all day freaking long. Same with Ashla, with Tyler, sucked in all day freaking long. Tim says about him and Alex that they don't argue. They don't argue, but I would say they aggressively banter with each other, and it's annoying. Series, it's just starting to get actually on my nerves, to be honest with you. So Hannah went to Nick and basically said to him, I really miss you, and gives him some validation, which is actually quite good. But then I'm kind of like, okay, this is your chance now, Nick. Are you going to bring up the issues with a note that she wrote with the 10 pointers on it? So Nick does approach Hannah about the 10 bullet points. So Hannah was basically trying to explain it off that she was making it about how she felt. She says she saw it from Nick's point of view, but I don't think she did. And this is what I mean about these two not having the emotional maturity to have these proper conversations with each other. So as Hannah basically could have talked to Nick directly instead of addressing it and writing it in bullet point on a page for him to find, and Nick could have spoken to Hannah when he saw it, and now it's about to be blown out of proportion basically. So they will seek each other to put their views across but not listen to each other, and this is what was playing out in this conversation. So Nick was basically talking about how Hannah got jealous, and Hannah was trying to say, no, I'm not jealous, but she was jealous. She says, it ends on with she saying that she does love Nick and he loves her too, and she sees a world with him in it. And Nick basically told her that he felt hurt by the words that she wrote down, but then she turned around and she felt that he had disrespected her. They were kind of listening to each other when it came to the end of it, but Hannah loves to cut Nick off a lot when he's talking, so he can't get the rest of his thinking out, which isn't fair. So he turns around and says, well, the last bullet point said delulu. Does that mean delusional? So yeah, Hannah thinks Nick is delusional, and I believe that this was around the view that he painted of himself towards Hannah in the pods. He was not happy with that at all. So I thought that full talk that they just had was a moot point at the end of the day. So Ramses and Marissa talk about where they're at, and then Marissa picks up that the people that are on the same page as them is Ashley and Tyler, and basically they're locked in, and she saw Monica and Stephen locked in, and I says, yeah, no, not a cat in hell's chance will that relationship work. Even Ramses kind of questioned, do you think? But didn't really say anything else on that. So you see Stephen and Monica having dinner, and so Stephen was basically explaining to Monica that it was so nice that the girl said, we love you, Monica. And then, of course, he's got to start with bigging himself up within that. And even when he says thank you because, he loves Monica, I don't get that feeling from him at all. And if Monica is really honest with herself, she doesn't either, to be honest with you. So Stephen says Monica is 5 steps ahead and even 10 steps ahead, but he's deep-rooted in the moment. He sees that as a good balance between them two. And I'm just like, Monica, that man just told you he ain't looking at future right now. He's very much in the moment of things with her. So he goes on to say, like Stephen is setting out that it will be Monica making all decisions. He won't really have a say on it unless it's to answer yes or no, basically. So Stephen ain't no leader, let's just put it that way. And so it's easier for him to let her know that, you know, he would be the one to say, let's not stress about that so much, about the future and situations. It's easier to be here in the moment. I'm like, Monica ain't had a chance to say not her bloody shit right now, but her heavy breathing said it all. Stephen does talk, but you have to really listen to the words that are coming out of his mouth, as they don't add up to his actions at all. Like, seriously don't. So Monica calls it out that she couldn't get a word in edgewise, but Monica likes to sit back constantly and let him chat and not butt in. But all she does is huh. And I'm like, just say your piece, my girl. At the end of the day, a conversation is a two-way street, and Stephen's gonna have to shut up at some point. So all Stephen says to her is, you're right. But Monica is getting now a little bit pissed at Stephen's tendency to overtalk. So now Monica is trying to say that something weird is going on between Alex and Tim. I didn't get that from what they showed us. I didn't get that at that moment in time. That's what I will say. All I would say is Monica really needs to, like, you know, involve herself in her relationship and what might be going wrong there with her man at the end of the day, because there's something going on with Stephen that I can't put my finger on just yet. So Monica doesn't know what she saw between Alex and Tim, but says that it's weird. And again, I didn't really see anything, but it must have been there. So Hannah, basically, when they got back to the room, got the list out of the bin. I was like, oh my God. Nick feels that Hannah is getting at him, and I really don't see where Hannah is coming from, as Nick didn't touch the other woman, for one thing, and the woman wasn't disrespectful to Hannah at all in terms of what was shown to us, unless something else was shown off camera. I don't know. Nick is bad though for saying to the lads that, you know, the woman in question that he rode the ducks with was a baddie at the end of the day, and like full on attractive. I think Hannah wants Nick to cater to her 24/7 and to always make her feel comfortable, even that's with him being in a social setting, because at the end of the day, Nick is a very flirty, and you saw this when he got around the other women as well, when they got him over to basically for him to ask questions. Didn't ask him any questions, by the way. I think they just sat him there to take the living piss out of him, which is wrong of them to do, because I really do think they have this like view of Nick that he cannot shake at this moment in time. But yeah, he's overtly friendly, like very friendly with women, and he needs to tamper that back, because Hannah does have a jealous streak. Even though she says she's not jealous, she does have a jealous streak. You see them do kind of go off in regards to what was written on that note, and Hannah just really did take it to the next level. But hey ho, I don't see them getting married at all, to be honest with you. So Alex, it looks like, is in a room by herself, and you see Tim going, and they have slept in separate rooms. Tim talks about what happened when they left the party, because he felt everything was fine, but then her energy was being off, but there was nothing showing to constitute what had happened between them two. So we're coming in off the back of that. So in essence, Monica was right that there was something off between Alex and Tim. So basically, Alex was just saying that she wanted to go back to the room, take a shower and go to bed because she misses home, and that was her issue. So they had a set to after that, and she basically believes that Tim came off angry and upset, and he was trying to talk to her, and she literally put her hand over his mouth to shut him down, which he did not like at all. So Tim basically said that he felt unheard and felt disrespected when Alex did that to him, and basically said that he is not that type of person, that he already told her, which he did, that he does not like those type of arguments at the end of the day, and will remove himself from such situation, which is what he was trying to do at that moment in time. I would take offense to someone covering my face, my mouth at the end of the day to stop me from speaking, because that's hella disrespectful in my books. If I'm upset and I'm trying to verbalize that to you and you put your hand over my mouth while I'm talking, yeah, no, you ain't shutting me down like that. Because at the end of the day, this is all about this show is all about communication, and this is what I mean, that these two just battle with each other all the time. So when it gets serious over something like this, they don't know how to deal with it, and then they have the fallout that they have. So again, in this situation, they're not really listening to each other, and they have to bite back rather than do the smooth give and take in regards to taking on board what it is the other one is saying. Once someone says something, they'll take it on board, but then literally pinpoint what the other person did at the same time, which doesn't always work. Their communicative style is always like a battle, and I'm just like, they really have no business being together if this is how they're going to work their shit out at the end of the day. So Alex felt Tim was assuming how she felt and what was going on in her mind. And to be fair, I will say, when someone assumes something is going on in my mind, or I'm thinking something when I'm not, it sets me off no end when people do that to me. So, but also on the flip side, Alex has also got to appreciate she didn't tell Tim what was going on in that instance. So he basically automatically assumed that it was about him, because what else was he supposed to do at the end of the day when everything was fine, when they were down with everybody else and leaving that party, to now him sleeping in a separate room at the end of the day. So how Tim responded to her wasn't right either. He does apologize to her and tells her again that he felt unheard and his love language is listening. And at last, we get to a point where Alex does actually apologise to him for her behaviours, because it didn't happen straight away. Let's just put it that way. And I was wondering, well, are you going to apologise for what you've done to him within that scenario? And then she did it at the end. So Tim basically said that he left because he needed space, and he felt caught because Alex wouldn't give him the space he needed. And this whole conversation, again, to me, is like a battlefield. Because I'm just like, what are you going to do next time? Like, seriously, if something like this rears its head up. So instead of Tim accepting the apology from Alex, he responds with, like, you know, the line has been crossed. And when Alex expressed the way she felt when he didn't come back to the room at that point in time, he's saying when Alex got in his face and she was saying things about his character, he doesn't take that lightly. Now, Alex knew this from the pods. Alex knew what type of character Tim was from the pods when it came to situations like this and him being shut down or not being heard or being disrespected within a relationship. This is where it comes in that he said people misunderstand him. He talks about, like, you know, she's having his ring on her finger, being engaged to him, but he has to be able to respect himself too. So I was like, are they going to work it out or not? So now he says he has to figure out how to get into that space again in seeing Alex as his wife and the mother of his children. So I'm kind of like, okay, if you have to work that hard to get back into this space after this blip that you have had right here that you're now talking about and trying to deal with, then why are you staying there? Like, seriously, if this talk didn't fix it, how long is a piece of string at the end of the day? So Alex asked, like, well, where does that leave them? And I'm just like, if Tim does throw it away, it was too quick for him to throw it away in my books. So he basically said that he's not sure. So Alex basically has to reach across the void to him to make, like, you know, sit closer to him, to hug him. Tim won't even give her eye contact. That's how bad he is. He doesn't know if they'll continue to sleep in different rooms. He just basically, as he said, didn't feel comfortable with how, I just didn't feel comfortable with how Alex had to grovel to him. As I understand that Tim's feelings are valid, completely valid. But the reason they met up, or he came back to the room, was for them to talk it out. So he has so far gone that he has to get back to that space. And I'm like, he should leave at this point rather than continually hold it against her. I hope things can get better for them, but I just don't know. So in the next one, all the edits look like people just showing their ass left, right and centre at the end of the day, and some of these parents coming up ain't easy at all from what I could see, to be honest with you. But this is where that episode ended. I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know when I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do the good things that you do, because I am on the road to 1k. Peace out, people.